Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So on this video, we're going to talk about Midjourney tutorial, creating consistent and multiple characters. Now I have made several Midjourney videos in the past. They're really helpful, so please check them out. Now what can we do here? Where can we start? So there are a lot of things to talk about Midjourney on this topic of our video, but let's take them step by step. First and foremost, I want to take this option to give you insight on what can you really expect at the first time. So first things first, this is going to be the prompt bar right here. These are the settings. There are going to be so much settings to choose from. We have portrait, square, landscape, or you can just manually choose which one you want. For the model, you can either go standard or raw. I have explained the differences of standard style or mode raw right there on my previous video, so please check them out. You have version right here, 6.1, Niji 5.1, 5.2. Personalized, you can also apply it here. Aesthetic, stylization, weirdness, variety, you can apply them there. That being said, for the speed or turbo, always choose turbo. However, you only have a limited time or limited selection when you go turbo. Those are the settings. On the left side, you have explore, you have the create option, the organize, the personalize, which is fairly new, the chat option, and the task. Now if you're not seeing this black background on your own, you're seeing white, you can simply chase it by this option. Right now I'm currently on system, which is dark. This is going to be the default, but for now, I really like the dark mode. So without further ado, what is going to be the first thing I'm going to tell you about is going to be the prompt bar. So what can you imagine here? Type anything you want, just have a specific prompt. Take note, as best practice, I always say this one. If you want good prompts like this, you want them like this one, you want good results such like this one, have a very specific prompt. I always say this on my videos. If you want good results, a very detailed results such as this one right there, about this one right here, you need to have a very specific prompt. Easy as that. Anyway, let's try one here. I'm just gonna type in here a simple, let's just go for a girl standing in a park. Take note, this is gonna be a simple prompt. That's why we're not gonna achieve this kinds of results, because these are very specific, as you can see right there. However, what's the purpose of me typing that one? I want to show you something very quick here. So, girl standing in a park, you'll notice right there, you're gonna have an option to change everything here. But before we get into that, what are the basics in Midjourney? So here are the basics. If you click this option right here, you're gonna have an option to add an image. May it be an image reference, a style reference, and a character references. So those are gonna be the building ground of Midjourney. We have style and character references. Let's try this one for now. I'm gonna use this woman. So you'll see right there we have 3 choices. If you're just gonna use the one that looks like a gallery, that's gonna be a basic image prompt. That means whatever you type here, for example, a woman in a park, is gonna be like that, focusing entirely on that woman. But if you go here and focus on this one right there that says style reference, this one right here, the one that's like a note or a paperclip, that's gonna be style references, meaning it will follow the style of this woman. For example, I'm gonna type in here a young boy in a park. So basically the style of the image will be followed, but even though if I use a woman, it will not be a woman on the results. Now these are gonna be our results for the first try, a woman in a park, basic prompt. And what will you notice here? Some of them are painting, because that's gonna be the Midjourney last prompt. You have 2 or 3 regular images, but one of them would be on a painting-like output. So take note about that one. Let's try our style reference, would be this one right here. You'll notice that it's basically a boy, even though we're using a woman. That is the power of style references. It follows how the woman looks like or how the photo looks like and gives you the same style to your prompts. Let's try another one. For now, I'm going to utilize the same woman. And for now, we're going to go for the last one, which is going to be character references. So what is the difference between style and character? So for style references, again, it will follow the design, the style of the image, right? Now for character reference, it will follow the facial features of the subject. For this one's gonna be the woman. So I'm gonna type in a woman wearing a red suit. Click enter and I'll see you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. Right here we still have the facial features of the woman in a red suit. Take note about that one. How powerful Midjourney is. I have another example here, character reference also using the same woman, but for this one it's gonna be a jacket. Now I know that's not bright red as much as we're expecting, but that's still the shade of red. These are gonna be the results right there. Pretty awesome, right? So that's gonna be the building blocks for Midjourney. We have right there again style references, character reference, and basically a simple prompt. So next, we're gonna talk about eliminating randomness. And what do I mean by randomness? Sometimes in Midjourneys, you're gonna have these prompts. For example, I have a prompt right here, woman cosplaying as a Jedi. Sometimes it gives me different prompts than the one I'm using for. As you see right there, there is a random lightsaber on the background. This one right here has a different color. So I'm gonna give you the tips and tricks on how to eliminate these kinds of randomness inside Midjourney. So the first tip would be this one. Fully define your prompts. As you can see right here, as I mentioned earlier, the more define your prompts, the better. If I go right there, check out this one. See how defined it is, how specific it is, and look at the results. I know some of us are beginners in terms of prompts, so there are useful websites out there, but for me, I utilize ChatGPT. Let's go to it right now. So this is going to be ChatGPT, and I have a video about it, so please check it out. Anyway, I've just asked ChatGPT to give me a specific, fully defined prompt for a guy wearing glasses and a suit. Here's the one we have right there. I'm just going to simply click on copy and go back in Midjourney. Now once we're here, I'm just going to simply paste it right there. I'm going to make sure that's going to be it. Check on the ratios right here. I'm going to go for portrait. The solarizations right there. Standards right here. Version 6.1 is the one to go through. And simply click on enter. Again guys, that's going to be tip number 1 for you. Make sure you have a very well-defined prompt. I'll get back to you once it's here. Now welcome back to the video. Right here, these are going to be the results we have on the prompt we have earlier. Take note, you have a very specific prompt here, a very well-defined prompt. So the 4 results right here are more similar than the one previously before. I have made a sample here. This is now going to be a guy with glasses only, wearing a suit. Just a simple prompt to show you the difference on using a fully defined prompt and a very simple one. So these are the results of a very simple prompt. We have, I think, everything is random here. The glasses for this one are different, the hairstyle, the ethnicity for this one is different, the background for this one is different. Comparing it with this one right here, all of them are similar. So that's going to be tip number 1. Make sure you have a very well-defined prompt. Alright, so that's going to be tip number 1. And what is tip number 2? So tip number 2 is basically setting a seed. Now what do I mean by seed? These are going to be the generation number in each of the prompts. For example, right here, I think the seed for this one is going to be by default. But for now, let's try enabling a seed here. So I'm just going to type in here. Make sure that's going to be right there. And now, how can we apply a seed? Basically, if I type in -- seed right there, and I'm going to apply seed number 1. Click enter, and I'll see you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. Again guys, we're using the same prompt we have from earlier. However, the difference for this one is going to be we have a seed number using for this one. As you can see right there, seed number 1, that's going to be the randomization value. So we'll limit the instances or chances for any random results. These are the results we have. And basically, I tried it one more time with a simple prompt with a guy wearing glasses but with a seed also. We still have random results right there. Comparing it with a very well-defined and specific prompt, additionally with the seed gives you a very specific, less random results. Take note about that one. If you combine the 2 tips, a very well-defined prompt plus a seed number will give you a very good results. Now you might be wondering up to when or what's the maximum of seed. To be honest, it's going to be as much as you want. There are different or infinite number of possibilities. There could be a seed number 1775. There could be a seed number of 100,637, 422, something like that. Anyway, those are going to be an entirely different conversations. Now, since we're done with step number 2 or tip number 2, let's go for tip number 3. So generate character close-up. So what do I mean by this one? If I use my prompt again, that will be a man in his mid-30 wearing a tailored dark navy suit with a crisp white shirt and a matching tie. I'm just gonna add in here a close-up, like this one, a close-up photo of a man. I just added that simple phrase right there, and it will give me a much more defined, less random results. I did not type anything, I did not do anything else rather than just adding that phrase, and we're gonna have these results right here. A much more specific, less random results. So let's combine everything. So I'm gonna use this one. We have a well-defined prompt. We have the close-up prompt right there. And of course, let's add the seed value. So we have 3 tips altogether for this one. Click enter and wait for it to finish. I'll get back to you once it's here. Welcome back to the video. So these are going to be the results, a close-up photo plus a seed value. Take note about that one, that is a really perfect result right there. Now for the 4th tip, let me just pull up my notepad. That would be using more or multiple character references. I know you might be wondering, even though I'm saying a well-defined prompt give you a very specific results, either way they look very different. I know that is going to be what you're wondering, right? So the tip number 4 will give you a much more clarification on this matter. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to utilize the image, choose a file there. What I mean by this one is I'm going to upload 2 character reference for this one. That's why that's going to be tip number 4. Don't just use 1. If you can use 2 or more than 2, that would be awesome. So make sure the guy has a logo for a character reference. And then I'm just going to input this one. I'm just going to input that prompt right here. Give me a second. Perfectly right there. So a close-up photo of a man in his mid-20s using 2 character references. And then I'm going to apply a seed value. Or let's just try without the seed value first so we can compare. Click enter. And I'll get back to you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. These are going to be your results, and this might answer your question. So these are now similar guys, or one person at the same results right here, using multiple character references. Now, if I say multiple, that can be more than 2. If you want to use 4, please do so. This is another example. This 4 right here, but for this one, we're using seed value right now. Those are going to be the differences. So check them out. What if we use more than 1? Let me just choose some of the photos here. I think I'm going to use this one right there. And now, let's have some fun with it. And now since I have the prompt right here, I'm just going to use the character references from my computer. The one we got from there. So I'm going to use 4 for this one. Or just 3. Or 4 rather, sorry about that. So I'm going to apply all of them. This one right here. This one right there. How about this guy right there? And one more for the road. I think I'm going to go with this one, and then make sure all of them are in character reference. Well, let me just remove this one. I'm gonna go for 3. So welcome back to the video. These are gonna be your new results utilizing these 3 character references. So take note, if you want avoid your randomness, if you want consistent characters, make sure you have a very well defined prompt, a seed value, and then multiple character references. Those are gonna be your tip for you. Also add the close-up prompt right there, which is going to be a close-up photo or close-up phrase. Now lastly, we have one more tip for you. That would be follow a prompt framework. What do I mean by this one? So if I click on my prompt right here, you'll notice that there are parts on my prompt wherein they're going to be separated among the rest. For example, we have one scenario, a close-up photo. Next up, the subject is going to be in the mid-30s, wearing a tailored black navy suit. What do you mean by this one? If you check every part of this prompt, there are specific parts wherein it means you define what it's wearing, the age of the subject, the close-up part or the close-up feature, and then the pocket right there holding a leather portfolio in the folder. And I have a photo here that explains properly, or a well-defined explanation for a prompt framework. So what do I mean by this one? So a prompt framework is basically having a well-defined prompt. You have one part right there wherein the background is explained, the subject is explained, a very basic details of the background, and then the other parts of your prompt. You can add some painting, artistic bouquet with beautiful ambience. That will be by your own preference. Bottom line for this one, what do I mean by prompt framework template? Is having a very well-defined prompt. That's gonna be it. So those are gonna be the 5 tips for you on having a very consistent characters to avoid randomness. Now for the next feature, I'm gonna teach you how to create your very own character references. So I have a prompt right here. I'm gonna paste it right there. So that will be a 6-panel photo collage of an old duo with gray hair wearing a white blouse with a nice smile, standing in front of plain solid background with studio lighting. Take note, remember tip number 4 and tip number 1. Have a very well-defined prompt. These are the parts of my prompt framework template, so take note about them. The most important part about this one would be the 6-panel photo collage feature. That phrase right there gives me an option to give or generate a 6-panel photo. So let's check it right here. I'm gonna click enter. So welcome back to the video. These are gonna be our results right here. Now this is the one we're looking for. Take note about the keyword 6-panel photo. Please use that one on your future prompts, and these are the results we're looking for. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Or how about this one right here? Much more better. How about this one? Or this one? I think I'm gonna go with the second one. This one right here. Now you can upscale this one if you're satisfied, or you're gonna use these samples as a character references feature. To upscale, as mentioned before, we have actions here. We have vary, upscale, remix, more, and usage. There are more options here to check from them, so please check out my previous video explaining all of them. Now I'm gonna type in saddle here to upscale it, and then I'm just gonna wait for it, and I'll see you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. These are gonna be the upscaled version of our choosing from earlier. Take a look right there, we have that upscale right here. Anyway, with this one, you're gonna use these samples to create your very own character references. How to do this one, you can just enable your snipping tool on your computer, and basically you can also have this on your MacBook. Anyway, for that being said, I'm just gonna choose this one right here. Sorry about that. One more time, I'm gonna click this one. One more, I'm gonna use this one right there. Save it. And then one more time for this one. I think I'm gonna go for 4 images for this one. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go for number 6. Then one more right here for number 7. I'm gonna utilize these photos as character references. Now what next is gonna be uploading the photos, choosing them on your desktop. Make sure everything is uploaded. Everything is gonna be right there. Make sure all of them are selected. Use them as character references, and there you have it. A simple prompt will do because we already have so much character references. I'm gonna type in an older woman wearing glasses. Simply click on enter and wait for the results. So welcome back to the video. These are gonna be our results right there. Pretty awesome, right? Look at those details. The character consistency is remarkable. That's gonna be the tip number 1 in creating your very own character references. So I also have tip number 2 for you. Let's try it out. So let's talk about the second method here. I have a sample for you guys. This is actually a very good example on how well defined and specific your prompt is. To choose one of each of the photos, I'm gonna go for this one. Copy the image right there, and then go to editor. Make sure this is expanded, because originally it's gonna be like this. Just expand it a little bit, and then change your prompt. I'm gonna remove everything, and I have a guideline here. So I'm gonna add a high resolution photo of this right here. So that would be, give me a second, a high resolution photo of the same superhero, like this one, seen in multiple angles. And then click Ctrl V because we copied this one from earlier, right? Click Ctrl V and you have that image right there. And basically make sure you enable character reference, because it will be a waste of time if you don't enable character references. So these are going to be your results. Same drill, guys. Go for editor, copy this one, and basically repeat the process. Save this one right here, choose a number, paste it, and then paste the one for the prompt. Give me a second, I forgot to copy the image, sorry about that. And then go back to the editor, paste again, and simply click on submit. And then make sure this is going to be character references. Click on submit. So as you can see, no edits are made. I'm going to make sure this is going to be shown in front and back. So this is just going to be a cycle. Make sure you have your font here. Now make sure you expand this one and then edit your prompt, apply the character references, click submit, and have your font there. So welcome back to the video. Here's what we have. So just repeat the process until you have multiple character references to use from. So how can we make this examples right here look like our subject? Again guys, this is going to be our subject, alright? So what we can do from here is create another set of photos that can have the same as close as proximity as this person right here. So what I did is I created this one. I have 4 samples but only 2 are facing front. And the prompt is a photo of a man with black hair flying around him, wearing a dark blue suit and a parachute behind his back as he skydives towards farmland in the background. So what I did is I made it as close as I can be or as I can to this guy right here. Next up, same process or same drill as I taught you earlier. I'm going to click this one, click copy image, like so, and then go to the skydiver. Just wait for it. There we have it. Click editor, just cover the face, upload a character reference, make sure it's going to be click on character reference. Upload another one, make sure that's also going to be under character reference. Now as best practice, you can upload as much as you want. Simply click on submit. And now you're going to have a new one basing with the environment of what we have here. For example, this guy right here. And then we're going to have a new set of examples here. I'll get back to you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. This is going to be your results. As you can see right there, the reference of the face is here, but the background, the skydiver is a bit more realistic. Also, you can also take a next step, click on editor, zoom it out just a little bit, and add something here. For example, I'm going to add in here, holding a selfie stick, something like that. Click on submit. What we did right here is we expanded the environment to make sure we have a bit more zoom out option, but that's just going to be depending on your perspective. Alright, I'll get back to you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. This is going to be our results, comparing it with this one right here. It's a bit more zoom in. We have some distortions right there. We have one perfect one, but these are going to be the zoom out options. I think this is better because we can see the hands. Anyway, that's going to be it on how to have different complex background settings on your subject. Now speaking of, how can we have more consistent characters because we're still having a bit more randomness? Rather than the tips I shared earlier, I have one more for you. See right here? Everything is consistent, right? One thing for sure is I'm using a very good character reference image. I'm using more than one, as I promised and told you earlier. But for this one specifically, I have a very specific prompt. If you'll notice right here, a midday close-up photo of a woman with blonde curly hair in front of a large open field, pulling weeds from the soil. The background shows rows and crops with some dirt patches and a bright blue sky, etc. What I mean by this one is that, as promised earlier, use a prompt framework. If you pay attention on the parts of the prompt here, we have the first one, the woman with the blonde curly hair, that's going to be our subject. What is the woman doing? She's currently in a large open field, and basically she's working. And a bit more specific, we have the background shows rows of crop with some dirt patches and the works. That's why we have very consistent character. The real secret for having very consistent characters in Midjourney, having a very well-defined prompt, a prompt framework, and having character references. Take note about that one. More than one character references is better. The more the merrier, as you may say. So you'll see right here, they're very consistent. I have here a comparison. As you can see right there, I only have a photo of a barmaid in England. They're not very consistent. The background, the setting, even the tone, the filter is not consistent. Comparing it with this one, as you can see, it's like it's taking at the same time, right? Even this one right here, skydiving. At the gym, we have it right here. At a coffee shop, like so. Even the cup has the mocha latte version. Anyway, this is gonna be on a rooftop, and basically that's it. So I have another example for you. Earlier we did a skydiver change to our subject. How about this one? we have a very awesome prompt here, an image of a boxer, two women fighting. What if I want to incorporate my subject on this photo? By the way, my subject would be this girl right here. This one right there. I'm just going to copy an image. The process is entirely duplicate or entirely the same. For example, this one right here. As you can see right there, I just generated a simple prompt and click on editor with this one. I just highlight this one. I'm going to cover it one more time to make it a bit more perfect. And then added a character reference on the image. I'm going to make it 3 right now. And I did not change anything regarding the prompt. Making sure this is going to be on character reference. And then simply click on submit. So welcome back to the video. We have these examples right here. As you can see right there, that is the entirely same character as we did from the photo. This one right here. Perfect, right? Now we can do one more example here based on the boxing. What if this woman right here? I'm gonna simply click on editor. Cover the face, mostly just the face, guys. Making sure it's properly covered, don't hit anything else. Now since my subject has a brown, blonde, curly hair, I'm gonna make sure the hair is also covered. Paste the subject, but don't forget to enable the character reference option, that logo right there. Click submit, and I'll see you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. This is gonna be our subject. We have it right there, a very awesome image. Comparison with this one, the references is exactly the same. The hair is the same. However, we have incorporated some sweats. Perfect, right? That's really awesome. So welcome back to the video. I'm going to share you some more examples here. We're focusing lately on character reference. But for this one, I'm going to show you the power of style reference. So I'm just going to choose one example here. I think I'm going to go with this one. Now once I have successfully downloaded this image right here, I can just simply go in there, click the file, go for downloads, look for the image we have, and wait for it to be uploaded on our library. Once it has been uploaded, choose it right there. Now instead of always going for that character reference logo, for this one we're gonna go for style reference. What I mean by this one is we're copying the style of the pink background, but we're just using the same prompt. This one right here. Simply click on enter. But for this one, we're focusing on the background itself and the style itself. We're not focusing on the character for now. I'm showing the real power of style reference. I'll get back to you once it's here. So welcome back to the video. Here's the results we have, the consistent style reference, and I'm highlighting this one for the background itself. So again guys, style references focuses on the background, the style of the image, and character reference focuses on the face of the subject. Take note about that one. So this is just a little bit stepping stone and covering the style, because for the next sample, I'm gonna teach you a bit more complicated, but a bit more sophisticated approach. So we're gonna utilize this one. So for example, I want this castle to be consistent on my images. What I'm gonna do right here is go to editor, and then I'm gonna cover everything. What I mean by that is I'm gonna increase this brush size, make sure everything is covered, like so what I'm doing right now. So you might be wondering, why am I covering everything? So my target for this one is I'm gonna cover everything except the castle. Like so, give me a second. Perfect. I think I'm almost there, just a little bit more to be more detailed, to have the best results we can be. I think we're satisfied with this one. Now, I'm just gonna change this one since we have that right there. Instead of a knight, I'm gonna go for this one. A knight, or rather a knight riding a horse. I'm gonna remove this one towards the snow with a visible castle. Click on submit, and what I did with that one is I just covered that castle right there, took it, and used it on another prompt. So basically, I'm still having that castle, but it will be in a different prompt, in a different setting, much like this one right here. It's almost done, and here we have it. As you can see guys, this castle is perfect. It's entirely the same. So that's how you do it. You can do it a little bit more tedious, I know. It's not the same as style references, but those are the two ways you can take note to have very consistent background, rather than using character references. We're focusing right now on style references. Take note about that one. Now for the last, but especially not the least example right here, you'll notice my prompt says a close-up photo of a old woman standing in a field, and a close-up photo of a young woman standing in a field. I just changed young to old, right? But that doesn't gives me a bit more results here. They exactly look the same, or if there's gonna be a difference, there's gonna be a minor difference for this one. Now the method I'm gonna teach you right now is first, generate some 6 collages photo. One for a toddler, one for a teenager, one for an adolescent or an old woman, and then on her late 50s. This one right here. And then, just generate a simple prompt. A close-up photo of a Missy against the wall, blank wall, or white wall. And basically use character references. For example, I'm gonna use this toddler, as you can see right there, and it will give me these results. This one right here. Pretty awesome, right? Let me just remove this one. Perfect. So we have these results of a toddler. And then what I did is, regarding character references, I added a new photo right there. So as time goes by, I'm adding just one photo of the next generation. So it looks like that it's aging through the times. So these are the samples we have up to the point where she's gonna be a full adult. Perfectly right there. Now the tip here is that first, generate a set of young or toddler right there with using all of the character references. For the next one, add the next age. Just one is enough. And then for the next one, use the same prompt right there. As you can see, I have 2, but added the next stage of life. And basically, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye for now.